So a year ago, we started making videos where we would react to the movies that we watch, which has been going well. However, over the past couple months, it's been a lot more difficult with dealing with copyright issues as well as just outside factors. So we're making some changes to the format so we can still talk about movies. So what we're going to do instead is a bit more of a casual discussion of what we watch each month going forward. And this is also going to include not only stuff we watch together, but also stuff that we watch separately as well. We will hope to try to keep this monthly.
But starting us off,
we both watched separately the Stranger Things finale.
And for context, I've seen the whole series. Nick here has not.
Okay, I was dragged to the theater by a friend of mine to go see it, and I was like, it would be kind of funny to see a series finale without watching the rest of the series. It had some interesting things going on, but it didn't keep me with it.
That makes sense.
The visuals were a little Linkin Park music video-esque. Bad looking to early 2000s CGI.
Just bad.
The music is fine because the music is good. I do think it is kind of funny that they picked Purple Rain when they were trying to go for a song that had never been in a movie or show before, despite Purple Rain being the title track to Purple Rain. It took I thought it was going to end at least 4 different times. It just kept going and going and going.
I confidently like the final scene, when
the Dungeons and Dragons wrap up.
I thought that was cute. Granted, the conversation beforehand was kind of a little forced and kind of a little awkward. With, I believe it. It's just so corny in a way that really. Because I can suspend my disbelief, and I can kind of vibe with corn sometimes, but that was a little far. And there were many moments in this season and in the show which kind of pushed it for me. The finale, I've seen worse finales. I think Game of Thrones is easily far worse, but it is still not a good finale to what this show was at the start. Stranger Things, it was a very it was more horror focused. It was more grounded, it was emotional, and it used to be a lot scarier, to be honest. With seasons 1 and 2, there were some genuinely pretty good horror sequences, and there really weren't any scary sequences from season 3 onwards, in my opinion. Not to mention, just the finale itself was way too loud. It's just so explosive and bombastic for no fucking reason, and the characters have such bad plot armor, and I can go on and on. I might want to decrease my rating, to be honest, to 1.5 stars most, because I was kind of nice with the 2.5, just because I remember seeing worse finales. But when I think about
I gave it a 4.
Okay, so the first movie I technically watched of this year, 2026, was Pitch Perfect. I remember seeing the movie when I was younger, and I just kind of wanted to see it again, and it was really fun. I remember back when people were doing the Cup song.
Oh yeah, yep.
It was so popular.
Yeah, I remember that.
Back then, it kind of annoyed me, but just seeing it now, it's a mix of nostalgic, it's fun, and it reminds me so much of Shokwire. because they're singing and they're doing choreography. It's a competition, Yeah. I remember I gave it a 7 out of 10.
The first film I watched this year is 10 Things I Hate About You.
Yes.
I watched this. I watched this on my United flight to Paris, which, by the way, was super fun. Yes, I still watched a bunch of movies while I was doing shit in Paris and Dublin. I liked it more than I thought I would. I really liked Heath Ledger. I really liked Julia Stiles in it. I really like the story of it. I really like the atmosphere of the school. It reminds me a lot of Clueless, and I'm sure if I rewatched it, Mean Girls. I just really like how it goes on. Yeah, I guess I don't have a whole lot to say about it. It's a pretty basic movie compared to what you could watch, but yeah, I did like it. I'd give it a 7 out of 10. Then I watched Days of Heaven. This is my 3rd Terrence Malick movie, and I'll be honest, I don't really love his movies that much outside of Badlands. I saw Tree of Life last year, which I hated. It was very pretentious. This one isn't that bad, but it's still not great either. I found it kind of boring, but it's beautiful. It looks gorgeous. It takes place in the urban Illinois wheat fields, and it's I wish it was more interesting than it was, because that is kind of a cool idea. But I also feel like I've seen something similar with this other film, Badlands, about 2 people going on the run, and I think that movie was better. Score is good. Ennio Morricone always does a good job. I'd give it a 6 out of 10.
And I finally got around to watching one battle after another.
I saw it when it came out in 70mm at the Music Box.
I really liked it. It's, as far as like all Thomas Anderson movies go, it's not obviously not my favorite. I think that's honestly Punch Drunk Love in hindsight. I mean, on my review, this movie's so good it makes me want to atomize Chrissy Nolan with a bulldozer. Like, it's relevant. It's got great energy. The performances are fun. I'm not sure I don't know if PTA meant to make a movie like so relevant.
I'm sure he intended to do that.
I love the colors in this. Like, it's really like the orange hues are like so like oppressive and really like it's just like such like a it's just like a really like hot movie, I guess. I don't know, like you get like a lot of characters are sweating, they're on the
run. I mean, they're in the deserts.
I liked it enough. It was an 8 out of 10 from me.
Yeah, I also gave it 8 out of 10. It's pretty good. It's not my favorite. Sean Penn's character is he's a fucking lunatic.
But it looks like Sean Penn's character was inspired by Greg Buvino.
8 out of 10. I can't say I'd really want to watch it again anytime soon, but I did like it a lot. Then I watched Cats Don't Dance. This is a animated movie from 1997. It's about these singing dance that go to Hollywood to become a movie star. It's a children's movie. The reason why I watched it is because I happened to be on Lost Media Wiki, and I stumbled upon that this movie was originally going to be, so Space Jam is, with Michael Jordan and about basketball. Cats Don't Dance was going to be Michael Jackson with singing and dancing, and then that ended up getting scrapped. So I was like, okay, well, now that piqued my interest. I'll check the movie out, and it's fine. It isn't anything special. It's very Warner Brothers animation. I think maybe it's a little better. Okay. I think it's a little better than Space Jam. I think it ages a little better. Although I will say, I think Space Jam's music is better. Like I said, I described it in one sentence. It's very generic. 6 out of 10. And then I saw at the École Cinema Club in Paris, Barry Lyndon. Very good movie, but it is not for me. Barry Lyndon is a 3-hour historical epic that takes place in the 18th century England. The movie stemmed from when Kubrick was working on a Napoleon biopic back in the late 60s, and then he turned it into an original character. Now, it is a really good movie. I love the music to it. I think the story is really good. Everyone's acting is very good. Ryan O'Neal in particular is great, but you can definitely feel that length as it goes. Historical epics are not usually my thing, mainly because they're usually that long. It's a Kubrick movie. It's shot really well. The cinematography is great. I can't say anything truly bad about it besides the length, and it's just not really my thing. So I gave it a 7 out of 10.
And I finally took the time to watch Blue Beetle. He's a character from DC's line, which I've had like a bit of a wish-washy like relationship with. I've never really been like that big of a fan of him. But with, let's just say the rampant dehumanization going on right now, I felt inspired to watch a movie which had a Latino superhero. It was fun. It was probably the first comic book movie I've ever wanted to watch out of protest for current events. But man, I wish I saw this around when it came out. It embraces the world and source material more faithfully than what most of the DC was trying to do back then. And besides a few moments of shoddy special effects and predictable dialogue, it was pretty earnest. It's not like that crazy of a movie. I will say, Mara Dueña, I hope he plays the character again in the new line of movies, but overall it was just a decent enough time. Wasn't anything too crazy. I don't know. I don't have that much to say about it either, to be honest. It was like a 6 or 7 out of 10.
I watched The Virgin Suicides, and I really, really liked it. The reason I watched this was my teacher said I should watch it, mainly because I was in Paris for creative writing, and I had written a story, probably the weirdest story I have ever written. So much so that I don't think it's ever going to see the light of day. We had an exercise where we were given like a list of prompts that we could choose, and then we had to start with that like sentence and then go into the story with that. One of the prompts was, the boys liked her.
What'd you do?
It got really, really dark really fast.
Oh my god.
It became like a Jennifer's Body-esque thing.
Oh my fucking god.
Which I've never seen. I should say. I've never seen Jennifer's Body. And then it turned into this feminist revenge story, but it has like, there's torture involved.
There's a movie called The Misandrist, which kind of reminds me a bit of
that borders on like, it's inspired by a scene from Casino Royale. So,
I think I have an idea.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, so it borders on being like really sadomasochistic.
We've made our stances clear that men can be pieces of fucking shit.
So I mean, I was very nervous about it because like I wasn't expecting it to get this dark, but my teacher loved it. So he's like, yeah, you should. It reminded me of the Virgin Suicides. So I was like, okay, I've heard of the movie. I'll check it out. Well, I don't know what the hell he was talking about because it doesn't really have anything to do with that. Other than the fact that it's like my story is kind of like told in a way where it's like almost like an urban legend. I guess the movie is presented in that way. This was directed by Sofia Coppola, by the way. And yeah, it's really good. It's very good. It's probably the best thing James Woods has ever been in. Kristen Dunst is really good. I gave it an 8 out of 10.
I decided to check out the 2025 remake of The Running Man. I will say I really liked it. I have seen the original. I have not read the book though. It's a roller coaster of a movie. Like, it's exciting. And what I didn't like about the Schwarzenegger one was it was kind of self-indulgent for Arnold. They were just kind of propping him up like on like a pedestal. While this one, while I definitely could like, I don't know, like my problems are more in just how they like change the ending and how it kind of feels maybe a little unrealistic, maybe a little bit kind of too far in the fantasy end of things. But it's this whole metaphor about how media like contorts people and makes them do crazy things just for entertainment. It's a conversation about like how the upper class like undervalues and demonizes the lower class. Like, the movie starts off with Lem Powell's character. He literally just joins a union and asks for workers' rights and gets fired. What I love about Lem Powell is that he plays being pissed off very well. Like, he is like that dude could like punch through a brick wall. For what it was, I thought it was really fun. It has some nice commentary. I think he did really great here. I don't know. I don't really see the problems as much. I gave it a 9. Then I also decided to check out Don't Look Up. It has been a movie I've been told to watch since it came out. And I heard about like what it was about and I was like, I don't really need to see that. But I finally decided to watch it just because I just wanted people to stop talking about it to me. And I will say, I didn't hate it. I did enjoy it. Your reaction there wasn't the best though.
I have heard mixed things about that movie.
I think if we lived in a society where literal idiots weren't in the government right now, it would be a lot lower on my rankings. But we are seeing actual fucking brain dead morons in our federal institutions right now. This whole movie, I mean, it's about a giant meteor getting discovered and how the government and like their benefactors, instead of stopping it when they have the chance and listening to scientists, they decided to capitalize off it. Ignore the scientists, they ignore the warnings, they like brainwash the people into, it's called Don't Look Up because the government is like, don't look up when you won't have a problem. It's really, it's a very like silly and kind of a bit, it's definitely a satire. All I can think about is just like, if there really was like an apocalyptic event like that, I could see like people like Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, whatever. I think I gave it like an 8 or something.
Then I watched Darren Aronofsky new movie, Caught Stealing. Oh boy, Darren is he's falling off. This isn't the worst thing in the world, but compared to what he has made in the past, it's a significant drop in quality. This is like a movie you would see on AMC on TV in the middle of a Tuesday. Like I said, it's fine. It's, you know, it does have an interesting story. Austin Butler isn't that great. Zoe Kravitz is fine, but she's also really hot. It's nothing special compared to what he's made before. 5 out of 10.
We both saw at different points in time The Long Walk.
It was a solid time. The idea does get a little like played out as it goes on. Like, you're kind of like, yep.
It is stretched to its limits.
It's like, yep, we're walking. I think some of the ways some of them lost in the walk were kind of fun. Mark Hamill is interesting.
Yeah, that gruff voice wasn't the most convincing.
It was interesting. It's not something I ever plan on watching again. It's more like, it was cool that they finally adapted it. And it is like, you know, it is an interesting premise.
Yeah, David Johnson, but his performance of Peter McVerries, like he kind of has the kind of like the Michael Clarke Duncan kind of feel with like the sincerity and just kind of like the earnest character, I guess. Like he plays this him like very, I don't know, he's just so easy to get along with. The world itself, it's interesting to see like two like dystopian king settings like kind of really made one after one, like this and the Running Man were made like super close together, but this is like the complete opposite like dystopian like future where it's a lot like our world and things are shitty, while Running Man is futuristic but things are still shitty. Exposition like with our world's in an economic drought or whatever was kind of a little bit forced. That was a little on the nose. I think I gave like a 6 or 7 as well.
Then I watched Megalopolis. So this is a movie that I have been kind of wanting to watch for a while. I actually was going to see it last year. They were doing a screening at the Chicago Theater with Francis Ford Coppola there, but
Oh boy.
I didn't get a chance to buy a ticket for it. But now that I've seen this movie, oh dear God, this movie is fucking awful. I don't even know where to begin with this movie. The acting is bad. The visuals are bad. The story is bad. Everything is bad in this. Not even Aubrey Plaza can save this. This is absolutely
That's a lot.
like, what the fuck are we doing, Francis? I'm not even sure I totally get what the movie's about. As far as I can tell, it's about the rise and fall of like a utopian city called New Rome. And they're building a building called Megalopolis. It also has a bunch of like weirdos in the cast like Shia LaBeouf, Jon Voight. This is, I don't know what the fuck he was thinking. I don't know why he sold his successful winery to fund this movie. Bro could have been still retired, living, you know, the glory days of the end of his life in peace, but instead chose to make this. I gave it a 2 out of 10, but I am changing it to a 1 out of 10. Then I watched The Skin I Live In, and this movie is fucked up. The best way to describe this movie is it's a fucked up version of Ex Machina, where basically Antonio Banderas is making these like synthetic skins for women, but he also has these weird like mommy issues. Throughout the movie, this woman that he like takes care of her like gets raped by multiple men. Yeah, I don't love it. I think the performances are good. And I think the cinematography is good. And maybe if I saw it a second time, knowing it, maybe I would like it a little more. It just did not work for me. I gave it a 7 out of 10 for now. We'll see if I watch it again in the future.
I watched The Platform. It came in my head when I was in sociology, because this movie is like a whole analogy for economic class and how people are so individual that they don't really, how we're so like conditioned to be individualistic that our tendencies to share, and how we view basic equity and welfare like strategy as really stupid. Goreng wakes up with a man named Tsumagasi on a platform, and they're both men who signed up for an experiment in exchange for some reward. These people just like in a tower on different levels, and there's this platform of like this gourmet dinner, like the type of shit that rich people in the square would eat. It's just this really large dinner, and everyone like picked out like their favorite foods like going into it so they could have it. But what actually happens is that the people at the top of the tower like eat all the food or degrade its quality via different methods, via spit or bodily fluids. And they tarnish it for the rest of the levels, which leaves many people without food, obviously. This one by itself, it's really worth a watch, and it's really interesting in terms of why people go hungry. I give it, I believe, a 8 out of 10.
On my flight back from Europe, I watched the first 5 minutes of the Minecraft movie. I watched the first 5 minutes, and I was like, that's all I needed to see. 1 out of 10. Then I rewatched Ratatouille, and I loved it. This is only my second time ever seeing it, but I really liked the story. I really connected with it. I really liked Patton Oswalt's voice in it. I really liked the weird guy. I don't even remember his name. I like the consequences of his actions and how they all kind of lead up to each other. I just really like the story, and of course, the movie is set in Paris, so it felt like a good movie to watch at the time. Like the entire movie doesn't make any sense. Well, how can a rat control a guy by pulling his hair like a fucking marionette? But it's like, what I like about the movie is that it's like they don't explain it. They're just like, I don't know.
He can do it.
He can just do that. And it's like, that is what I like. I would give it a 8 out of 10. And then I watched F1. I only watched it because it got nominated for Best Picture. I usually don't try to watch all the Best Pictures, but it just happened to be on the flight, so I watched it. It's basically Top Gun Maverick, but with cars, and a very bad Brad Pitt performance. This is what I would call a dad movie.
I think it's what a lot of people would call a dad movie.
It's 2.5 hours of cars, and also the amount of product placements and sponsorships in this. I mean, I understand in NASCAR and F1 and all that, they do have a bunch of those, but in a movie it gets a little exhausting. 4 out of 10. Then we watched together 8.5. Now this was based on a suggestion from someone I was staying with in Paris, who said that it was his favorite movie. He compared it to a better version of All That Jazz. I'm sorry, but I don't really get that. I mean, sure, it's about I guess you could say it's about a disastrous production and things going wrong, but it has zero stakes compared to All That Jazz. In All That Jazz, the stakes are life and death. What, the movie doesn't get made? Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no. It just, I could not connect with it at all. The cinematography looked really good. I really like the cool surreal scene at the very beginning where he's flying through the clouds like Superman.
I love the black and whites. I love obviously the opening scene with the traffic and sky is cool, and also the scene near the end when he's under the table trying to avoid the crowd is also pretty. I think both are pretty good surrealistic sequences, but overall it's very loose in its plot. It's kind of just a lot of movie people hanging out. This movie's best attributes are its aesthetics and brief experimental ideas.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's not nearly as good as All That Jazz.
There's just so much more personality in All That Jazz.
Right.
Gideon's character is so much more interesting and more layered.
Give a 4, I guess.
Then I watched a short film called Lemon. I have nothing to say about it. It is a 7-minute short film of a light shining over a lemon. 3 out of 10. The last movie I watched this month was Hard Boiled. This is my first John Woo movie. It's very, very good. Very intense. I love a lot of the action sequences. There's a lot of really good gore too in it, from people getting shots and explosions and all that. I know that John Woo is he's known for having these really good Hong Kong movies back in the late 80s, early 90s, and they're playing some of them in theaters right now, so it is good. I will say the story is a little weak, it's a little generic, but it kind of just works, to be honest. There's a lot of really good sequences in it, and I mean, I would recommend people checking it out. I would say it's a 7 or 8 out of 10.
And then I decided to check out Alien Romulus. I'm a pretty big fan of the Alien franchise, alongside Predator as well. I'm a bigger fan of Predator, personally. I just think the Yautja is a more interesting creature, though the Xenomorph is better designed. As far as this movie goes, its plot is not really the best, but it's aesthetically and artistically, it's gorgeous. The first shot, with the ship in space with it being fully blacked out against just that background of stars is really cool, and the way this movie shoots scenes in space is generally just really cool. But in terms of the action movie, it's just kind of okay. I like how it kind of follows up a little bit on a couple of plot points off of Prometheus and Alien Covenant, because I didn't expect this franchise to be brave enough to reference any of that, considering how poorly those movies were received. I don't think it reaches the heights of Alien 1 and Aliens, but it's not really as bad as Alien 3, obviously, or Resurrection. It's behind Aliens and ahead of 3 and 4 to me, and obviously ahead of the Aliens vs. Predator movies. My biggest issue is Ian Holm's CGI face. That was distracting as fuck. I do not like when movies resurrect or de-age actors like that, because that is super off-putting. It took me out of the movie every time, because he's in it quite a bit. When I think of Alien 1, I don't really think of Ian Holmes character, no offense. Like, he's a good actor and all that, but I remember it for The Alien and for Sigourney Weaver. I think it was like a 6, 7 out of 10 from me. I think it's more of a 6 now.
And that is everything we watched this month. Woo!
Indeed.
Yippee, we did it. Stay tuned for next month to see what else we watch. Stay tuned for this Friday where a new video series will be coming out of our new gaming side.
Yes, Minecraft Nonsense Adventures, Part 1.
See you then. Bye-bye.
See you there.